Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Scoville.com. Try Scoville.com's hot sauce subscription box, where you pick the heat, flavor, and food pairings you want in your box. Get 1 or 3 bottles delivered to your door each month. Choose your heat level, flavor profile, and food pairings. And it's completely customizable each month. You no longer have to worry about getting sauces you don't like or won't use. Scoville.com specially curates each month's box based on your personal preferences. And best of all, High Desert Sauce Co., Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, and Irish Spike's unique hot sauces are all available at Scoville.com. Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. I'm Spike.
Welcome to the shit show. I'm Zach.
And I'm Claire.
And today we're talking to JOHN DAVIDSON from Cooper's Small Batch. Hey, John.
How are you doing?
Good. That was great. I beat him to it last week, Claire.
I've stopped trying to steal his glory.
He didn't say it at all. And we started, and I was like, hey, welcome to the shit show.
I mean, I might have been getting there. How the fuck do you know I was going to throw it in the middle of the episode just to throw you off?
Maybe.
What's up, John?
You don't leave
Welcome.
stuff like that to chance.
All good. All good. So tell us your history with spicy food and how that led you to start Cooper's Small Batch.
Yeah.
Well, it was the hot sauce journey really started about 18 years ago. But I started my passion with food many, many years before that. So I'm a trained chef. I cooked at restaurants in Chicago and New York. When I got back to Denver to start a family, it was about 20 years ago, I opened a panini salad, breakfast sandwich type of restaurant and found that I needed hot sauce. And I created 4 hot sauces, and the whole thing just kind of blossomed from there. I have since sold the restaurant, and 6 years ago, we went commercial with the hot sauce because my wife came to me and she says, hey, we may have been onto something with that hot sauce thing. And I said, really? Do you know how much hot sauce you have to sell to make any money? And here we are 6 years later, just, hustling every day. We both, work a tremendous amount, and it does support both of us. So I really can't ask for much more than that. And 2 kids. But yeah, it all started with a love for food. That started when I was young. And my dad used to tell me we would go to a dinner somewhere and we get the little cherry peppers on the side of the plate, and he'd say, "These put hair on your chest." And I think that's where the love of hot things came from. Right now.
Side question. How'd you get your hot sauce company to a point where it supported you financially? Inquiring minds want to know. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, I think part of it
I'm just kidding. Yeah. It was just a joke.
Yeah. I mean, a good joke, but I mean, we're still working on to do things we want to be able to do, but it does pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is we keep so many things in house. We do our own distribution. We make our own hot sauce. We keep it small. We want to keep as much of our margin as we can. We don't want to give our margin to distributors and to other people. So I guess it's kind of about supply and demand for us.
So do you then not do a whole lot of wholesale?
So we have roughly 350 wholesale across the country. We use common shipping companies to do our distribution.
That's how we do it for the most part.
Yeah, we find that percentage to be less than we would be giving to a distributor.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Where'd the name of your company come from?
So Cooper is my son, and the whole thing started as a way to save for his college fund. So like I said, we started a restaurant, and we needed hot sauce. And I said, well, we can also sell the hot sauce at the restaurant. We started, my daughter's name is Zoe Anthella. So we started Zoe Anthella's Flavored Sugar and Cooper's Hot Sauce. Those were the 2 things we started. The sugar's since gone away, but the hot sauce is stuck around. My wife started selling the hot sauce. There's a farmer's market that was right outside of the restaurant. And that is now the biggest farmer's market in Denver, and we still do that farmer's market. But yeah, started at our restaurant and farmer's market and kind of blossomed from there.
Nice.
Awesome.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
My kids have a whole thing that they say when the
Jack Cooper is 16 and he covers another farmer's market for us.
Nice.
That's literally his second job, but I don't think he wants to be part of the hot sauce business when he gets older, though. So
It's like my daughter.
yeah, as far away as they can get. Yeah.
She worked for us for a while, and she just said nope.
And both my kids really like spicy food. My daughter likes spicier food than I do. So I mean, she eats cracks and all kinds of stuff, and doesn't even bother. So
Awesome.
yeah,
I could tell.
Maybe you need to change the name to
Zoe's hot sauce. Maybe there's a special line coming out. Wait for that.
There you go.
There you
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I could tell from the ingredients in your sauces that you were a chef. I mean, some of those ingredients, the moves you make. I mean, I think I told you that at Fiery Foods. The moves you make just astounded me and really made me have to rethink about the way that I love that when that happens. I don't know about you, but like when somebody makes you rethink your whole philosophy on how you go about it and they kind of knock you off, man, that was a moment, and that happened at Fiery Foods. Has somebody else done that to you?
Well, I mean, people have done that to me in different ways, like particularly in the food business, in the restaurant business, when I have tried something that just kind of shocked me in its flavor and that type of thing. Like, I mean, for example, like the first time I tried black garlic, the flavor of black garlic is completely different than the flavor of black garlic. And I really got into how foods can be manipulated and changed. And one of the ways that I look at hot sauce is, people say you don't want to reinvent the wheel. And I say, well, why not reinvent the wheel? It leads to things like flying cars and hovercrafts,
Yes.
right? So I try to be really different in my ingredient selection and creating new ingredients. Just try to be different than, a lot of the other things that I see out there. So when I make hot sauce, I'll pick an ingredient and focus on putting that into hot sauce. And I've had ingredients that I haven't been able to make the flavor profile work. And I just kind of have to throw the idea away. And then I walk around and somebody else is doing the exact hot sauce that I really should have been doing the whole time. So I love to see those makers that are creating things that are different, I guess, really. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people inspire me. I see a lot of inspiration in different people's hot sauce. I do like simple hot sauces. Most of my hot sauces, really simple ingredients, 8, 10 ingredients, but have a lot of depth of flavor. I like to say that my hot sauces are made to mingle. So they're made to kind of pair into your food rather than manipulate the flavors of your food. So they're meant to kind of blend.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. But I got inspiration from, people like Charlie Trotter and Danielle Ballou and Thomas Keller. So that, that was, my background was in those type of kitchens. I worked in both Chicago and New York. And although I didn't see those guys very much, so it was the people in those kitchens that they represented. But those are the people that are inspiring to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces. I'm Spike, the owner and executive saucier. Our sauces are handmade in the Pacific Northwest using the best possible ingredient. We believe that hot sauce equates to a balance of sensational heat coupled with a robust and complex flavor profile. Live your hottest life with Irish Spikes. Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces are available at saucecult.com.
Of those. But yeah, I mean, at least the color, I mean, I see a lot of people out there that do multiple colors, and I'm just like, well, yeah. No.
Just explain the bottom dollar to her. It's way less money.
Well, I mean,
higher profit margins.
Drink bands.
But it also could
John,
be less
you there?
sales. That's the hard part about changing anything with regards to marketing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of about supply and demand. I almost raised the price.
Oh my gosh, it's me.
I'm reconnecting to everybody, just so everybody knows.
Oh,
you're here. Spike's not.
Okay.
You're here.
yes.
I'd almost want to raise the price rather than change the bottling.
So should we go back and do the question that Spike disappeared on again. Just I don't remember what it was, but
it was
the wax.
the wax. But I remember what I said.
Well, I just asked you the question brand new, and then you can answer it brand new, so it's better.
That's
better
a good idea. That probably would be good.
Okay. So, John, I noticed that all of your bottles are wax dipped. We do that on one of our bottles, and it can be a little bit of a pain. So, do you? What prompted you to want to wax dip all of your bottles, and do you ever think about changing it?
I do think about changing it often. I petition for it quite a bit. My wife is the driving force behind the marketing of our product, and we were really looking around to see what would make ourselves stand out when we were first getting started. I mean, initially, when we made the hot sauce at the restaurant, it was a different label, and we shrink banded them at the top. And then we went to go commercial. We rebranded and decided that wax would be a great way for us to be able to stand out on the shelf. And so far, so good
looks nice
on that. I appreciate it.
And
it is a lot of work.
I was about to say, it sounds like a lot of work.
A lot of work. I have found ways to speed it up, racking bottles. I do about 6 at a time. Well, maybe more like 12 at a time if I'm doing 2 racks, but still a case at a time. So, I mean, I get through it fairly quickly. I mean, the more you do things, the faster you get. So I get better and better.
Did I see that you have like a little like tape to like pull it apart to make it easier to open?
Yeah. So the tape is on there.
We just lost your video.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, it's because your phone probably shut off or whatever.
This gave me the low power mode, so I have to. But yeah, the tape is another aspect of the finishing work that we do on the bottles. So yeah, fill the bottle, tape the bottle, wax the bottle, label the bottles in there somewhere.
So
too.
is the tape a little sticky? So you put it on and then you dip it, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's just a piece of it's essentially filamented wax masking tape.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it just has some fiberglass bands or something that help it retain a little stability or sturdiness as you're peeling off the wax. But,
cool.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We just make it a pain in the butt for everybody to open the bottle.
Yeah, I got a lot of complaints about that early on. I think people would probably not buy the hot sauce too much if they had to work at it with a knife.
we just have it on one bottle.
Send me pictures of them working on the bottles with knives. And,
we only have it on one hot sauce. And by the time they get to the end of the bottle, they're like, "That's really good," and they forgot how hard it was to open. So
Right. Yes. I mean, people, they do it with wine bottles all the time. I mean, figure it out. But yeah, we made it easy this way.
That's good. It's like those.
We're always looking for new options, though. We've tried wire. We've tried. I've found these. They're like bag clampers that put tape on bags to try to get the tape on there. I've tried machines that do like twist ties that are supposed to go on there. I can't find anything that works as good or as easy as the tape.
Yeah. Who's up next?
So I think, this is actually a perfect time to segue into $100 hot sauce.
I'll talk about $100 hot sauce.
So
I mean, what are you
Spike,
going to put in hot sauce to make a $100 hot sauce?
exactly. That's what we're going to ask you. What do you feel like warrants $100 for a hot sauce? That could be a process, an ingredient, packaging.
I mean, I cooked one of my hot sauces for 21 days. I mean, I invented an ingredient.
Wow.
For 21 days.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute. Do you make your own black garlic?
I do make my own black garlic. I also make an ingredient that I invented called the black habanero, which is cooked very similarly to the black garlic. But it takes 21 days and it's expensive. But I still sell a bottle of that for $8 at the farmer's market. So, I mean, all it is time.
Time is money.
Well, I'm not really doing anything in that time.
You're using energy of something. You're paying for something.
Yeah, I am.
You know what? The owner's time is always worth less.
I mean, I agree. I mean, if I was going to say that $100 hot sauce ingredients like that go in it, I mean, are you going to put gold flake in your hot sauce? Many, many years ago, there was the whole expensive burger in New York kind of phase, where Daniel Boulud was stuffing his hamburgers with foie gras, and they were shaving truffles on top of hamburgers, and they were using Kobe beef for their ground beef. And I suppose you can get there, but in the grand scheme of things, the smash burger is still the best hamburger that you can find, all with, with a little bit of cheese and some onions on there. That's it. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
We'll go back to why are we going to reinvent the wheel thing?
Yeah.
All in favor of bringing John on for this $100 hot sauce?
Oh man, I would do it in a second. Yeah,
so we could use the black habanero.
Yeah.
How about not the black habanero, but the black ghost pepper?
Okay, fair enough. Yep.
Claire's got to tell him about the ghost pepper.
Oh, you're talking about the mystery pepper.
Yeah.
So we source our peppers directly from farms, and one of our farmers had a row house of golden ghosts, and one of the plants in the middle of this row house just wasn't growing true to type and grew instead as a much larger, juicier, fleshier, sweeter golden ghost. So it's got the heat and the flavor of the golden ghost, but like the sweetness and like fleshiness of like a bell pepper. And it's so good.
Well, there's only one.
Yeah. Well, this farm keeps growing it. We're on their fourth or fifth year.
So they're
propagating it.
Yeah.
And it's changing a little bit every year.
It's all about supply and demand. If there's only one bottle of something, it's worth $100.
So Spike originally wanted to only do 50 bottles. Claire and I talked him to, I think, 150.
Yeah.
Okay, is where we're at now.
Okay, so have you guys started an ingredient list of what we're putting in it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Was it white truffle, black truffles?
None
of that. No truffles.
Okay, good.
No,
it's like an Asian-inspired thing.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah.
So the whole thing with the black habanero actually started with this whole truffle craze of hot sauce that started, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, should we make a truffle hot sauce? And I said, there's no way in hell that I'm making a truffle hot sauce. But I will make one that tastes like it has truffle and mushrooms in it. So that process for the black habanero, it amplifies the mushroom and truffle flavonoids by about 400%. So it has these huge mushroom and truffle flavors, but no mushroom at all in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to try that.
Okay, so how many pounds of peppers are we putting in the $100 hot sauce? And then how much will you charge us to make that a black pepper?
Well, we'll figure something out.
Remember, processes, ingredients, and packaging have to equate to $100. So I feel like you probably need more.
I think there is a $100 hot sauce out there.
There's a bunch. That's why we're doing this, because they're not worth it.
Right.
And we want to do one.
I would agree with most of that. Yeah.
Yeah. We want to do one that's worth it. Do you mind if I'm just, because I'm really interested, do you mind if we edit for a second? And would you be okay with us telling him where we're going with this?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Claire George. I own Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. We make hot sauce, mustard, cookies, and granola, and 100% of our products are made with Vermont ingredients. The thing that I hear most often from people is that my hot sauce tastes like the peppers that are in it. We do really simple recipes that don't get too crazy and nitpicky, just to really accentuate the flavor of the peppers that are in there. The unique thing about our hot sauces is how much we feature the farm and the relationship with the farm and really bring the terroir of Vermont to our hot sauces. I am pretty sure I am the #1 purchaser of Vermont-grown chili peppers. I would love it if there would be a legitimate pepper market in Vermont where people would know Vermont for its peppers. We're all better for supporting each other. And I think that part really shows itself with the collaborations that I do with the other businesses and the other farms, that I love working together and coming up with new ideas and presenting each other with new challenges. And I think overall that's the attitude here. And I absolutely love it because that's my attitude. I try to live my life with love. The ingredients that I use, I would say that my values are reflected in that, that I use ingredients that, again, feel good, feel loving, feel supportive. The relationship with the farmer was how it all began. If I changed the reason for it being, if I went out and bought some commodity peppers, it might not be as good.
You can find Butterfly Bakery of Vermont hot sauce, mustard, granola, and cookies at butterflybakeryvt.com. Edit back in.
Welcome back.
Oh yeah, hey, welcome to Flavor Bounty. Sometimes it happens. We just go off track. It's just all of us are ADD and
Well, I think everybody in this business is probably ADD.
Yeah.
So I might have real jobs.
I might edit, like show me saying, can I edit and tell him what it is and just have it black for a second and then have us come back in. I might really do that.
100%. Side note, I have a little bit of a problem here. We got a monsoon rolling in and my dog is deathly afraid of lightning and thunder. So I think I got a dip, dude.
I get it.
Okay.
Unless, I keep the headphones on, okay? Keep the phone going, and you guys can just come with me.
Okay.
You know what? This show, yes.
Don't get into a car accident.
Why not? Let's do it.
I won't.
It's just like talking on the phone as you're going. So.
Right. And it's hands-free, right? It's hands-free. We should be good.
Maybe if you...
So let me go ahead. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Back out? I'm supposed to...
All right. What's the next fucking question, by the way? Is it my turn?
I'm looking because I have to bring them back up.
I just did the $100 hot sauce, so...
John, how do you... how do you feel? Sorry. Do you feel like the hot sauce industry has changed since you started? You've been doing it for about 6 years, which, is not from the very beginning of the modern hot sauce age, but it's also longer than some of the newbies out there.
Right. Yeah. In the last 6 years, the hot sauce business has changed a dramatic amount. I see a lot of new people coming in. It's more creative. You see a lot of more variety of ingredients in people's hot sauce, but I think it's great. I've always looked at the craft hot sauce world very similarly to the craft beer world.
Yep.
Whereas the more producers of craft beer, the better, right? So I think it's good for everybody. Although, I think there's probably 4 or 5 hot sauce makers at my farmer's market now. So I don't love that as much. But I'd love to see competition. I think it makes us all stronger. I give this explanation to people often. So when craft beer started, I think Coors, Miller, and Budweiser held like 98% of the beer business. Even with all of the craft beer business, today they hold like 88% or something. They still hold an extraordinary amount of the business, even with all the craft beer that's out there. Well, Tabasco and Cholula and the big boys is kind of a similar thing. Even with all these craft hot sauce companies in, they still control the majority of the business. Mm-hmm. So there's plenty of business out there to be had by the small guy.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And I think that food in general is just moving more to a local kind of aspect. Absolutely. I think people are realizing the beauty in local food. I think that they want to spend their money on businesses that are local. I think it's important to people, and I think it's becoming more and more important all the time.
Yeah.
I agree.
Have you guys, speaking of corporate fucking hot sauce conglomerates, what the fuck is going on? Will you guys go? Anyway, have you guys seen new bottles of Sriracha that are like nice and brown now?
Yeah, I saw a whole pallet of those. I was just, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about.
Well, they put out a statement not too long ago that the jalapenos they got were too green. So maybe, the red and green makes brown kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's the red and green makes brown. Unless they're, smoking or fermenting, I think it's red and green makes brown. So, yeah. But, test batch that shit. Like... I don't know. I have to say,
they should just call it.
Does anybody else see a frog on the roof of Zach's car?
Yes.
It's
That's like the octopus towel holder.
And especially when the lights were on, it was like red-eyed.
Woo!
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no,
it's a demon frog. Anyway, I forgot where we went. I got distracted by the frog.
That's all right. I think we're on hot takes.
Yeah. You want to ask that, Spike?
Yeah,
sure.
Spike, that's your question.
It sounds good. So what are your hot sauce hot takes? The things that everybody else are kind of on board with, but you're not.
I think the truffle is one of them.
You're in good company, by the way. We call ourselves the anti-truffle crew.
Yeah. It's kind of like, as a chef, I watched this whole evolution of let's just put truffle oil on everything because we know that it'll sell. I mean, I think things have their place. I think that is probably one of the big ingredients. I mean, black garlic is becoming that ingredient too. I mean, everybody wants to put black garlic in everything, although it's a delicious ingredient.
I know I've got it in 2 sauces, and I have to not use it again. I really want to.
Right. I mean, there comes a point where you've done it, and it's gone. I mean, just using heat just to be hot is one of my biggest pet peeves. I mean, I'm more of a, it really needs to taste good even before it's hot. So the flavor for me is vitally important. What else do I think is being overused? Or I don't put any oil in any of my hot sauces. I don't think that it's. I mean, if people want to, I mean, I guess it can give it a better consistency. But I think, people have the culinary ability. If they want to put a little bit of oil in their hot sauce, they can do that. I don't know. I also don't use any sugar in any of my hot sauces. I think that sugar's a crutch in hot sauce. I think there are plenty of ingredients out there that are sweet that you can add to hot. I think you may have lost me again.
Yeah, we got you back though.
Okay. It keeps telling me that I have low battery. I don't know why it's not charging. I'm going to try to flip it around real quick and see. But yeah,
this is the best episode ever. I got to tell you, this is awesome.
I see sugar as a crutch. So I don't put it in my hot sauces. There are ingredients out there that are sweet, so you can find ingredients to help sweeten your hot sauces.
So, wait, question. When you say no sugar, do you mean like no agave or honey or anything like that?
I don't put any agave, no honey. Everything is derived either from fruit or vegetables. Yeah.
I
mean, I don't necessarily think that honey or agave is a problem in hot sauce. I just think that sometimes it can be a crutch in order to help balance your flavors when there's other things that could be used.
Yeah.
What else do I see in hot sauce? I think I'll probably just stick with those 2.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I have to say that while I was on vacation, I had a truffle pizza. It was ordered by my dad. And so, we're an anti-truffle crew, but I am anti-truffle oil. And this actually had truffle on it. And I think for the volume of truffle that appeared to be on the pizza, I feel like there had to have been other mushrooms involved too. But it was so good. It was delicious because it tasted like truffle and then the flavor went away. Whereas when you have truffle oil, you're like burping it up for the next 5 hours. And I hate that.
Yes, absolutely.
I like truffle. I think truffle has its place, but I think that it's just people are just putting it in any hot sauce, to call it a truffle hot sauce, and I don't know if that's necessarily a great thing.
Well,
John, there's a really good one from.
You got that big truffle
ahead,
company
Zach.
doing sauce, and they use the oil with essence. And people are like, but they use real truffle. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand where the essence comes from.
Yeah.
It's just on a little on a stand and they go buy it on the conveyor belt. That's where that essence comes from.
They synthesize a lot of things these days.
Yeah.
But
there's a really good sauce from California Hot Sauce Solutions called the Subtle Teas. That one has truffle, but just a little bit, and it is very well done. Nice. It's the only one I've liked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was going to do hot sauce show and tell, but should we wait for Zach to get home? Because then he will have a hot sauce.
Yeah, I'm almost there. there.
Okay, good. Actually, that's perfect. If he's almost there, I actually didn't get mine, so let me go grab mine real quick.
Alien frog.
Well, I mean, you want to see the monsoon?
Yeah, well, I saw that briefly. That is intense. The when out here on the East Coast, when I tell people that when it rains in a desert, it just breaks loose, that it's not just it's raining. It's like everything floods. And that's why the LA River has a trickle running down the middle and then it fills that entire thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It opens up like a river. It does the same thing here. Yeah. It opens up like a river and then it's done 15 minutes later and the sun comes out and it makes for absolutely beautiful evenings.
Yeah. Beautiful flowers.
Until the sun comes up the next day. And it's just humid and hot,
and it's 114 again.
When I was a teenager, I was backpacking Yosemite, and we set up camp for the night, and realized a little too late that we had set up in a dry riverbed. So It wasn't dry.
Oops. Yeah, that is not a fun experience.
You know, it was a sudden moment of,
oh shit, there goes the tent.
Fortunately it wasn't fast enough to take.
Oh shit, there goes Jim.
yeah, it was less it was fine. It was summer. We didn't need the tent.
All right.
Yeah, we didn't need the tent. The problem is when the beer goes away.
Yeah.
That's when the problem. The cooler floats down the river.
Well, no, everything it's bear country up there. Like everything's up in the tree. Anything that although one year we definitely would get bears trying to get at the bear can bag. I don't know. I was with my dad, so I don't remember what he used to tie it up. But one year mice came and swarmed our campsite and for like the crumbs. And it was just in the middle of the night. The whole place was swarming with mice. It was a very strange experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary in a way.
Yeah. It was just not like nothing I've ever experienced since or after.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Okay.
So.
It's going to get real loud.
Okay.
And
All right, I'm going to turn it down. There, I turned you way down. Hey, while we're doing that, while he's doing that, so this is the one that I've shown this one on the podcast before, and this is the one that I had. It's really, really good. Tsunami. I mean, and again, just looking at the ingredients and the moves you make on that, I was just floored.
buddy.
I love that. I just love that.
Is he so scared? This fucking guy. Oh, man, of course my kitchen's a fucking disaster right now. Okay, put a light on.
There's a whole bunch of hot sauce right there.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
all,
I love this so much. This is an adventure.
yeah, it was an interesting episode. Come here, buddy. So I'll probably be off camera.
You know how we're going to have so many people watching this one just because first of all, Zach is just,
What? Zach is just what?
Zach.
Chaos energy. I mentioned the chaos energy thing in the episode last week. I hope you're okay with that.
Yes. Well, Zach, do you deny it? Do you deny that you're chaos energy?
No.
Hi, boo boo.
Oh, cutie.
He's a turd. All right. So there's the hot sauce setting. All right. Hot sauce show and tell. What'd you bring there?
John, you get to go first.
Yeah, John.
Okay. Decisions. I'm going to pick this one here.
Go ahead and show them both.
This is mycelium.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, we've seen that one.
Okay. So this sauce is made with butternut squash and milky cap mushrooms by La Pimentiere. I hope I say their name right. Out of Canada.
Zach, yeah.
Julian is his name. He's a super great guy and loves making hot sauce and is very, very creative. The company in general has some really unique hot sauces, but this one in particular has a really nice mushroomy kind of note to the back side of it. Let me read the ingredients for you. I got to get my wife's glasses here because I am pushing age. So we've got butternut squash, water, cedar-infused white wine vinegar, red bell pepper, onions, habanero peppers, miso, dehydrated hot peppers, including ancho, arbol, and guajillo. They've got garlic, brown sugar, salt, canola oil, and dehydrated maple syrup, and milky cap mushrooms. So, yeah, some pretty interesting ingredients in that one.
That sounds cool.
Isn't that the same one that I think Al brought that one?
Okay.
Did he?
Yeah, from Heartbeat. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
So,
great.
I mean, a really nice, it's a nice, thick kind of pour, very vegetal.
Okay.
I mean, you can really smell it when it's coming out.
I'm going to order some. I think I tried right after that episode because he was raving about it. And I, for some reason, couldn't at that time. I don't remember what it was.
It's Canadian. It's hard to get it down. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I tried to get, still got to send that off. I tried twice now to get sauces to Heartbeat.
Oh, really?
And both times have failed. Yeah. I think I mentioned it last time. So I sent it up there and they tried to charge him tax. And I said, no, don't do that. Send it back to me. They sent it back. I sent it back out. And then they sent me a thing saying, we don't know what happened. There's just a box and no hot sauce.
Oh, shit.
So I got to try again. I sent him a whole case. So
somebody's having a good time at the UPS facility.
I'm like, well, somebody needed some hot sauce.
Yeah.
What do you got, Claire?
I brought the deluxe sauce by Lucky Dog.
I want that sauce. I got to get it.
It is really good. We just opened it tonight, and I was putting it on my Alfredo pasta that I had for dinner tonight. And it's blackberry, black garlic, dragon fruit, and Scotch bonnet. And I got to hang out with Scott on Friday. I got to hang out with Scott on Friday. And it was so much fun. And we exchanged sauce, and we just chatted about all the things, and we had really good Indian food. It was so good. But yeah, I really enjoy the sauce, and I really like what he's done with the flavors. I feel like in a lot of other sauce makers' hands, this would be like a sugar bomb, like the flavors like insinuate sweetness, but he brought it into a really good balance. And yeah, I really enjoy it.
Did he tell you about our feud?
Oh, you've told me about it. I didn't realize it was this one, but yes, that makes sense. Yeah. Do you have, yes.
This is, and he didn't have this one. He had our Queen of Hearts, which is the habanero version. And so he said, I got, because I sent him the Queen of Hearts, and he's like, yeah, it was so close. I was worried. And I said, bad news. I got bad news for you. The other one's got a dog on it. And he goes, what? Do you know how much I paid for that label?
Fortunately, they look pretty different.
They do, very much. I was talking about maybe getting some wholesale from him and selling them both as a off our site, because I thought it'd be fun. But we talked about having a feud.
Yeah,
an internet feud.
Yeah. Mine is don't pair the Primo. Right there.
Cool.
From Paul Manaker. And I actually have not opened this one yet. I'm not going to yet. I've got too many open right now. But I love their stuff. I have not had a bad sauce from Paul Manaker, so I know it'll be great. And I've had another version of this.
What about you, Zach?
Flavor Balance Heat is brought to you by High Desert Sauce Co. out of Tucson, Arizona. Zach is the owner and creative mind behind High Desert Sauce Co.'s hot sauces. He says, at High Desert Sauce Co., we make sauces that we love. The balance of bold heat and fresh flavor is the heart of our philosophy. We keep it simple by using the best ingredients we can get our hands on and letting the natural flavors run the show. High Desert Sauce Co. Just the good stuff. Visit High Desert at hdsauceco.com.
Yeah. Harmony hot sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They use the 9-ounce jars or whatever, and they like to use MSG for that added flavor.
The right amount of MSG.
I got a couple of their hot sauces, and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I believe it's Harmacy,
Is that what I said? Thought I said Harmacy. Harmacy hot sauce, just in case I said it incorrectly. Yeah, I had their kimchi one the first time, but it was not good, room temperature. After I put it in the fridge, it was definitely much better.
Interesting.
Oh, that's
After
good.
I put it in the fridge, I fucked that jar up in 2 sittings, honestly.
I had their jerk, and I'm a big fan of jerk, and I think their jerk was, almost as good as mine. So.
Oh,
That's what this one is. That's the jerk one.
Okay. Yeah, it's delicious.
Cool.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I had something I was going to say.
Speed round, I think.
Yeah. No, we are on questions.
Hey, yeah, do you have any questions
No,
for
what's
us?
next for you?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I do have a couple questions for you guys. All right. So, I think I have had a couple of ingredients and flavor profiles that I've been trying to work on. In fact, one of the reasons I brought the hot sauce that I did today is because I had been working on a mushroom hot sauce, and it was one of those things that I kind of just abandoned for a little while because I couldn't figure out the flavor profiles. But if you guys had any kind of flavor profiles that you've been like, I really want to try to put that in a hot sauce and just couldn't find a way to do it?
I mean, I tend to start with I rarely am aiming for a specific flavor. I tend to just kind of start with the ingredients and see where they go. But I did actually try to make a peri-peri of all things and failed miserably. So I've had many great peri-peris and I haven't tried again. I could just try again, but I tried it once and I was like, lost me?
Him.
I've got you.
No, he's nodding along. Okay.
No, I think it's you, Zach.
Oh, okay.
So I've had some failures like that. We actually just did a mustard hot sauce, different from our Vienna mustard, and it was just so bitter. And I just said, fuck it, and tossed it out. But yeah, I just tend to make. I just tend to take ingredients and go with it and see what happens. Is kind of my production style. So usually it works.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I love it.
Yeah.
I tried to do and I really liked it, but it needs something. But I was trying to do pear with tarragon. And it was really good. My wife still asks me, why don't you come out with that? Because I didn't like it. I did. It's there. It's just, and I just can't figure that was one of the first things I made. And so 6 years later, I'm still pondering it.
Cheese.
It's okay, buddy.
I think that would bring it
Parmesan
together.
hot sauce. I mean, why not?
There you go.
Because you said pear and tarragon, right? Is what you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
cheese
With
would bring it
cheese,
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Blue cheese.
I think cheese would bring it together.
Brie.
No, not blue cheese. Like a Dubliner or Parmesan-ish sort of. And there's other flavors that are like that, like a nutritional yeast or I mean, what else has that stinky feet vibe? But it has to be in the middle. It has to be a stinky feet vibe.
Verjus would be a great acidifier for that sauce for sure.
Yeah. But the difficult part about mushrooms, because I've done a couple mushroom sauces, and is that all their flavor comes at the end, and heat just knocks it out. And so you have to either put in such a volume of mushroom that flavor comes forward, or stays on past the heat. But it's hard to get enough of that flavor to come out without just being obliterated.
Have you tried doing fresh and powdered?
I have. And I'm not saying that I haven't found any hot sauces that work. It's just kind of been put on the back burner because I couldn't find anything that was what I wanted. I mean, there are probably some great mushrooms out there for the $100 hot sauce.
So I actually have a bag of mushrooms in my fridge. A friend of mine, he was a friend of mine who doesn't live in the area and was coming through. And he was like, I work at a mushroom shop. I brought you mushrooms. And I was like, okay, cool. And I opened up this bag, and there's oyster mushrooms, and there's chanterelles, and there's morels, and there's, he brought it to me 2 days before I left on vacation. So I have not gone back and looked, but it's in a paper bag, in a plastic bag in our fridge. So I think it's okay, but I need to do something with it soon because I don't want to lose it. And there's so many mushrooms in there, and I need to make something with them.
That's somebody who's made a really good mushroom sauce is California Hot Sauce Solutions. They have their morel sauce.
Yeah.
Wicked Provisions makes a great mushroom hot sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they also tend
smoked
to
shiitakes,
use,
I think they put in there.
Oh, yeah. And they tend to use like broth in their sauces, right? Which I could see kind of pulling that mushroom flavor forward.
Yeah, right.
I've got a ketchup with porcini, but we use the powder because it just comes through a lot better.
Yeah.
And porcini can be really overwhelming for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just use a little bit. Doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Yep. You have any other questions for us?
Well, I mean, as far as distribution and warehousing and growing your hot sauce from a small company to a big company or bigger company, what hurdles have you guys seen to be the biggest ones?
Growth.
And how do you manage that? What are your steps?
I think that just fucked up. Fucking my kitchen just called me.
That's all right.
What do you think
mind if I answer
the most important steps to growth are?
I probably have to go deal with an emergency. Well, my recording already stopped, and then I popped back on. So
okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Should we just stop the recording before Zach leaves, and then okay. There, John, you want to ask your question again?
Yeah.
Oh, we were just asking about distribution and growth and the major hurdles that you faced as growing companies. What do you think are, as an upstart company or, a company who is always looking to grow, what is the most important things? Is it improving your line? Is it finding distribution? Is it, going to grocery? Like, we try to avoid grocery necessarily. It's not really our business model, although we don't poo-poo it right away. We try to find like the smaller independent people. We feel like the business model is more sustainable. So I don't know what do you guys feel about growth, and what do you guys see as the hurdles for growth?
It's been weird. So I actually tried to put together our own distribution about 2 years ago, but we were in a weird spot. Claire's actually in the same kind of situation, so it'll be interesting to contrast how we're doing it, how you do it, Claire. But we tried to we're in Moscow, Idaho. We're
Right.
about an hour and a half south of Spokane.
My sister went to school in Pullman. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like there's just nothing every other way.
Right.
And so we would like drive to I would pay somebody to drive to Walla Walla. We had like 4 or 5 accounts there. Got a good following, but it was still so much money. We were losing money every time we went out there, even though we were picking up a little bit per. So, then we finally just decided to go with US Foods has us, and also Cisco.
Okay.
Just 2 of our sauces for Cisco and a few for US Foods, but that's been pretty good because they can get it further than we can with that model. I would still like to I would prefer to have my own distribution. So eventually that's what I want to do. So.
And distributing other people's hot sauce along with your own.
No, and actually, Is that what you do?
No, I don't do that, but I have thought about doing that.
Yeah.
But I thought that's what you were referring to as your own distribution company, and maybe you were distributing. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
other
just
people's
ours
as well.
We've got I got so many sauces. I could like 40.
I'd say, John, our distribution model sounds pretty similar to yours. We do have a few small distributors that we sell through, but mostly it's direct to wholesale.
Yeah.
So we have, I think our website is, I don't know, 10% of our sales or something, but almost the entire 90% is direct to stores. And we have a few small chains, like small chains.
Right.
But it's been interesting. We bought a company about 2 years ago now, a caramel company. So it's not hot sauce, but they came in with more distributors and they were in Kroger's. And so we've been kind of learning about that through that relationship. Okay. And it's, I don't really love it. and it's amazing to me how much legwork is required and how much money they still take, even though you're doing honestly almost more work than like when we sell to a small retailer, like, the order might be, between $200 and $1,000 versus sending a pallet off to a warehouse somewhere. But they don't push back on price. They don't, they don't pay an invoice that's a different amount than the amount that you agreed upon on the invoice.
Try and change your price when you're looking at the invoice and you're like, hey, wait a minute, $25 a case is not what
we agreed on. No, that's not it. Yeah. And, they don't charge, a fee for taking it off the truck, or things, crazy things like that. Yeah. And
marketing fees.
Marketing fees, all of that, but you still have to have your own salespeople out there, like on the ground. And so, I recognize that there are big accounts, big grocery stores that kind of need to have the simplicity of model for the number of products they have in their store. And that's why they go through distributors versus direct. But it's, I far prefer working with independent stores. They're just, and then when you call them or you visit them and you do a demo and they love you for it and it's great. And versus the big store, which is like, okay, you can pay $200 to show up and sample out things. And you're like, what?
Yeah. I don't want to do that anyway.
Yeah. And we're good at shipping. We've got a whole shipping department and we ship stuff all day, every day. Mm-hmm. And it's, we're still I say we're good at shipping, but we're never like done learning. So
what's the best way to pack?
we have just changed our whole, so we use paper tape now. We're trying to move away from plastic in our shipping. So we've been using cornstarch peanuts forever. But now we use paper tape, which actually works better than the plastic tape, especially in cold temperatures like we get here.
Okay. Yeah. We have our boxes open often sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so with the plastic tape, we had to do H tapes. So we had to go across and the corners, to keep the boxes from doing that and shipping. Mm-hmm. And then also in really cold temperatures, sometimes the tape would just like let go. But the paper tape is glue. So we just do one across the top, one across the bottom. That's all we have to do. We've had no boxes open since we started doing that. And then we use this stuff called Giami, and you've probably received packages that have this. It's like a honeycomb paper.
Right.
So it looks like a single sheet, but then it like webs out into like this honeycomb stuff. And so we wrap our bottles in that. We used to use like a bubble bag, but now we wrap our bottles in that. And then for just void fill, and for like lining the box, we use this Rand Pack. We rent this machine that just takes sheets of paper and turns it into like a pack of paper, and then it lines the whole box. And honestly, we've had really good success with it. It does cost us more than all the plastic, so we're trying to work on that part of it. But I feel a lot better from an environmental standpoint. I think it provides a better unboxing experience. It looks nice. I don't know. And it's been solid. Like we really have not had, we generally have really low breakage rate anyway, but we've had even lower. So yeah.
I think everything's good. Eventually you're going to get a broken bottle here and there. And I think, again, the independent people are a lot more receptive to, hey, we'll wash the bottles off if we need to, or
Right. Yeah. And also then you're like individually talking to the person. So they're like, oh, John sent this to me. I want to be nice to him and not just be like, why the heck is this bottle broken?
Right.
And like be a jerk about it.
Yep.
So yeah. I was talking to one of my board members, and we were talking about marketing, and he was like, we're talking about strategy. And he was like, would you like to have one store or 100 stores that make the same amount of money? One, Shaw's or 100 independent stores. And I was like, it just, without even thinking, I was like, immediately, I was like 100 independent stores, hands down, no question. And
they're going to have a better relationship with your product also, I think.
And they're going to tell people about it.
Right.
And we don't have to spend all that money on marketing and just jumble in everybody's face with all the other images that they're getting fed in marketing.
Right.
Instead, it'll be the owner of the store being like, this is really good. I like it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So,
yes.
Yeah. But we have more salespeople. We used to have no salespeople, and then we had one salesperson, and now we have 2 salespeople, and we have a marketing person. So that's been new and interesting to navigate. And figuring out how to lead them has been even more interesting to navigate, because my expertise is not in sales and marketing. So I've had to I can sell and market my own stuff, but how do I teach somebody else to do it?
I could not be the sales of the product. I'm so happy that my wife has background in both sales and marketing, and I don't have to do that. All I have to do is cook the sauce. So
I've kind of just reached a point where I'm like, I just have to become whatever the company needs me to become. And look at this. Now I'm in charge of sales and marketing. Sounds great. Let's figure it out. So.
I am great with sales if they're coming to me, but if I got to go out somewhere, I just can't. I mean, I'm really good at like a convention or a farmer's market, I've told you I wear a red suit, and people walk up and go, I had to come up here because of a red suit. And I'm like, okay, let's try some hot sauce. That's my thing. I'm good at that. But if I have to go out somewhere, I'm just not. I completely fall apart. And so I think we're on the verge of hiring our first salesperson.
It is, honestly, it's great to have somebody who is just dedicated to that, who's good at the follow-up call. I am awful at follow-up calls. Like I can make that first run of calls and just have the oomph and energy to do it because it's on my to-do list. And then, I get through to 3 of the people, but not the other 2 people. And then maybe I remember to call one of them and the other one I don't get to. And it just all then falls apart for me. And to have people who are
we are a real
driven,
old school company in that way. Like we have an in-house salesperson who will call our clients regularly once a month or once every 2 months and see how inventory is. And then we have my wife, who's the bang on the door one, and she doesn't take no for an answer. So if she comes walking through the door, just say yes.
And that's why you're still wax dipping the bottles.
Right.
So okay, that's a good segue. What's next for Cooper's Small Batch?
So that's a good question. I think we have a line of rubs that we're working on, no sugar rubs. So they're kind of going to follow this whole live fire trend that's happening out there. People cooking over campfires and this kind of thing, so they don't burn. And there's going to be 2 sauces probably associated in that same flavor profile. And right before COVID, my wife and I were looking to buy land in Belize, so we're going to try to start producing some of our own peppers in Belize and drying them. We have to dry them and pulverize them to bring them back to the United States. But that stuff is all in the works for Cooper Small Batch. We're just trying to expand our line a little bit. I don't think we need any more hot sauce. Maybe we'll drop a few out. We'll see. I mean, there's a million ideas going around in my head. Yeah. I want to keep it creative for myself. So doing the same thing over and over and over again every day is really difficult. So I know some people out there are going to be sad that this one's gone or that one's gone, but there's something new and great coming along right after it. So don't be too upset.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's the speed round.
Okay. Speed round.
This is just a bunch of really kind of dumb, fun questions that I asked to wrap things up.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, I got to find them. Everything went down, so all my stuff is all over the place. Let me see. Oh, there they are.
I'm nervous.
Easy stuff. All right. You win the lottery. What's the first hot sauce related thing you get?
A better bottling machine.
If you had to give up the hot sauce business but could do anything else, what would you do?
I am a chef by trade. I guess I would probably go back into doing that. I also flipped houses for several years, which I loved. That was a really, really nice job. Or, I mean, like I said, I just bought land in Belize, so I'll probably go retire to my land in Belize.
Yeah. I mean, I would not go back to cooking. I mean, if I could do anything else, I'm just done.
It depends on where you're doing it at, honestly.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, if I'm doing 4 or 5, I still do a couple events every year. Like I cook a private house at the Masters every year, so that's fun. It's a week. I get to dip my toe back into the cooking business, and then I'm back out. But
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, you get to use. This is the Desert Island hot sauce. You get one hot sauce for the rest of your life. It can't be one of yours. What is it?
It's Marie Sharp's green habanero.
Ah, awesome. What's your favorite and least favorite type of hot sauce? Do you like it thin, thick, Louisiana style, whatever?
My least favorite type of hot sauce would be a thin sauce. I like it to stick to whatever I'm putting it on. I don't like overly vinegary sauces. I like them to be well balanced. So not really tart, I guess you would say.
I just did our first pretty thin sauce, but I did it on purpose. It's a watermelon curry, and I just wanted that watermelon to shine.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, I love the sauce. Everybody that tasted it at Farmer's Market yesterday loved the sauce, but it just was like pour it out, and it's like I'm trying to catch it with the chip,
Yeah, right.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, let's see. If you had a sandwich named after you, what would it be, and what type of heat would you add to it?
Well, like I said, I had a sandwich shop for a long time. Yeah. What would I have? What would it be called? Out of the marrow, maybe. I don't know. That means the tip top. It's one of the better. It's a chefy term. I do have a spice grinder that I use called Soigné. Maybe I would name a sandwich Soigné.
There you go.
Which means dressed up.
A long time.
Yeah, right. And what was the second part of that question? What hot sauce would I put on it?
What kind of heat? It can be anything. It doesn't have to be hot sauce.
Yeah. What kind of heat? So I love pickled habaneros. They're great on all kinds of stuff. I would probably, the Grundle Thumper, which is my hot sauce, was designed to go on sandwiches. It's super simple, lots of onions and garlic. Yeah. Real easy. I would probably put that on there. It was the first hot sauce I ever made. It's exactly what it was designed for.
It's a beautiful sauce. I had it on here for a hot sauce show and tell a little ways back, and it's really great. Zach goes, "What's the name?"
Yeah, right. And it has like the best hot sauce name ever, right? Don't Google it at work.
Do you know what a Grundle is? Yeah, I do. So if you could go back in time and change one thing about your hot sauce journey, what would it be?
I would probably learn more about hot sauce before I started just whipping flavors out. Like, I knew virtually nothing about making hot sauce when I started putting hot sauce together. I still make hot sauce like a chef makes hot sauce. So it's more about flavor and cooking the hot sauce, not necessarily fermenting peppers and that part of the hot sauce aspect. So what would I change? I would learn more about the hot sauce world. I mean, I knew nothing that was happening in hot sauce when I started making hot sauce. I just started making sauce that would go good with my food, and it kind of just took off from there. I mean, people loved it. What else would I change? I probably wouldn't start waxing bottles.
There you go. That's the best answer. Yeah, absolutely. All right. What's the best business advice you've been given?
Keep your margin.
Oh, that's good. I like
Keep
that.
your margin. Don't give your margin to people. A little bit goes a long way. Yeah, and stay true to yourself. I mean, it's one of the things I carried with me through my chef career, which is your integrity is really all you've got in the chef world. And it kind of rings true in the hot sauce world too. As soon as you violate your integrity, you really don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's see. Oh, yeah. This is my favorite question because it's completely ridiculous. If you had to fight another hot sauce company owner, who would it be and would you win?
So the Down to Ferment guys.
Oh, yeah.
So we both have the same name for a hot sauce, right?
Oh.
So we both have a hot sauce called Smokin' Hot Date.
Oh.
Okay, I was first, by the way, and they openly acknowledge that. I don't really care that they have the same name for me. It doesn't really bother me that much. But our hot sauces are, in ingredient-wise, are both very similar.
Oh, wow.
But I think I win the battle both in taste and a fist fight if we're going to go down that road.
That's great. All right. And if you could collaborate with another hot sauce company, who would it be?
I would say it would probably be Julian from La Pometiere. I think that his hot sauces are very similar to mine in kind of nature, and he tries to be different than a lot of the other people that are out there. I would love to do a collab with him.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If you had to pare down to only one sauce in your line, what would it be?
I mean, the jerk is my favorite sauce, but everybody else seems to like Grundle Thumper. I don't know whether it's because it's just so simple or it just pairs well. Like I said before, I mean, they're made to mingle. It just will disappear into a lot of the foods that you make because it's really heavy onion, heavy garlic, ingredients that you're already using in your sauce. So it just is really easy to use. So I would say that would probably be the one. I mean, it was the first one I made. So let's just start over and we'll go from there.
That's awesome. Okay. And let's see. If your brand were a cave person, would it be a hunter or a gatherer and why?
It's a gatherer. I guess that's kind of who I am as a person. I'm one of those people who just seeks out new ingredients, and I love foraging for things like mushrooms and wild things that just grow. Like I mentioned, I go to the Masters every year. In the backyard of the place where I'm working at, there's like wild chives and different kinds of herbs, and fiddlehead ferns are coming up that time of year. So I'm the guy that's back there in the woods picking out, the weird things, and I love looking for mushrooms in the woods, and I have a morel stash that I find. But yeah, I would definitely be the gatherer.
Okay, we've kind of already been told what this is, but describe your favorite hot sauce from your line without saying a single ingredient or heat level.
The jerk is my favorite. My wife and I were married in Jamaica. We have a real special relationship with the Caribbean just in general. We spent a month in Jamaica after I graduated college. So rather than going to Europe as the traditional people do, we went to Jamaica, which is kind of different. Backpacked all over Jamaica. I really find that people have a tendency to be a little sweet on their jerk sauce. So, mine. I like it good.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, here's the last one, and it's a weird one. If Pepto-Bismol asked you to make a hot sauce for them using Pepto-Bismol, What kind of pepper would you use? What would you do with it?
Pepto-Bismol. What do I do with Pepto? That is a tough one.
What I love about this is that it's nothing like you'd expect it to be with. It's pink and it tastes like mint. It's just insane.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I have a lot of experience with Pepto-Bismol. As far as the pepper that I'm using, so I do a little bit of mint in one of my sauces. So I think Serrano goes pretty well with mint. I think you could probably use Serrano. I think you probably want to amplify the mint because it's not quite as there as you might want it to be. I guess I would probably take that mint in some sort of a strange Japanese direction because they maybe we're using ginger in the Pepto sauce. We could use pickled ginger because it's pink also. And
there you go.
Yeah, and maybe we're going to have some sort of floral, rose hips, rose, mint, and Pepto-Bismol with Serrano pepper. That's a start.
Not green Serranos. We'll get brown. So.
Yes, that's right.
Well, that's it. We're done.
All right.
Thank you so much. This has been a blast.
That last question's a whopper.
A lot of fun talking to you, John.
It's my favorite one because it just throws people off completely. Well, John, it's really nice to meet you. I would love to, if I don't know if you're up to it, but I'd love to trade some sauce with you. If you're up to doing that.
Anytime.
I would love to trade some sauce with you too. If
absolutely, anytime.
I'll send you our address through our email and send yours back if you could.
Cool. That sounds great.
And I'll send you ours.
That sounds perfect.
Sounds good.
Yep, we'll get some sauce out for you guys.
Sounds
awesome.
Good. This has been a Spike Mind Media production.